If you are looking for a setup for content creation, I'm going to share my favorite setup with you today. You're looking at the image coming out of that camera right now. We're filming in 6.2K, open gate recording in 24 frames per second. I'm going to dive into all the details, including this image setup in today's video. If you are looking to create content for social media, including YouTube, and have an image that will work with any type of orientation that you're looking for, whether that's vertical or horizontal, this is the run and gun setup that I use not only to capture footage for myself and my own business, but also for clients. And this is my absolutely favorite setup. You're looking at the image now. I am going to share the camera and the complete setup with you here in a few moments. But let's talk about what you're seeing here first. I'm going to get a little technical in this video. Some of you are tech savvy and others are beginners. So we'll just leave this at a surface level today. If you want a more deep dive into the camera you're looking at right now, including all of the settings I use to shoot with this camera, I'm going to leave a link down in the description below so that you can take a look at that. Now, for the intent of this video, I do want to point out a few things. First, I'm shooting an open gate, and you can see that this image looks square. And just to oversimplify open gate, because I'm shooting in a square image, it means that when I go to edit, I can crop this or reframe this video to be either horizontal or vertical in nature. Wherever I'm going to post this footage, and I'm going to need to format the footage in a certain way to do that. For instance, if you are posting a video to YouTube and it's a talking head video like this, well, you can crop the top and bottom and give it that 9:16 image look. Now, if you are using this camera to shoot vertical footage for social media, well, you're just going to crop the sides here. So the nice thing about this is you don't have to move your camera or rotate your camera, either vertical or horizontal. You can just keep this camera in the same orientation the entire time that you're shooting. And this will be important when I show you something else that I use with this camera here in a little while. And then when it comes to image quality, this camera can shoot in 6.2K. And the reason why that's important is because if you're cropping in on the sides or you're cropping in the top and the bottom, you can reframe this shot, you can zoom in a little bit, and you're not going to lose image quality. So it gives you just a little more flexibility, especially if you're a newbie. But when it comes to shooting content for social media, you need a little more flexibility for the edit. So I actually like to kind of scoot back a little bit more, give myself additional room in the frame to crop in or zoom in or whatever I need to do. And when I shoot in open gate and when I shoot in 6.2K, it's going to give me a nice high quality image to work with. And then it's very flexible so that I can edit it however I need to, wherever I'm going to post it. So by now, I'm sure you're curious to know what camera I'm actually shooting with. I'm going to switch over and film with a different camera because obviously I want to show you this one. So we're going to do that right now. Here are all the pieces to my rig setup. Now, this is something I use not only for myself, but also for shooting client work. And I love it because when I shoot content with clients or even for myself, I really need the rig to be lighter. I need it to be more nimble. And I'm also running around, getting in and out of cars, going up and down stairs, you name it. I'm in that particular situation. And because of the size and the weight of this setup, it just makes it so that I can continue to shoot all day and not get too tired or not be lugging around a bunch of equipment. So this rig is centered around the Fujifilm X-M5. This camera body is going to run under $1,000, and the affordability to image quality ratio, in my opinion, is through the roof. It's got great autofocus and all sorts of other functionality that you will find helpful if you use this to capture content. I also love pairing it with the Sirui 16mm f1.2 lens. It's f1.2, so I can get that nice blurry background. And then it's a wide angle lens. It's a 24mm equivalent. This is a micro four thirds sensor camera. So 16mm equals about 24mm. And I like to capture content with as wide a view as possible because, as I mentioned before, I'm shooting in 6K, so I can crop in and still maintain a high image quality. What I do is, because this is an f1.2, I actually use an ND filter. So if I'm shooting outside, then I can still shoot in f1.2, get that nice blurry background, and get a nice looking image. I typically have 2 ND filter sizes because I can modify it based on the size of the lens that I'm using. So I use 67 millimeters and then 82 millimeters for my larger size lenses. And then all you have to do from there is purchase what they call a step-up ring. So this step-up ring is 58 to 67 millimeters. That means that the thread on this lens is 58 millimeters. So all I have to do is screw on this step-up ring. And you always want the filter to be larger than the image or the size of your lens. So this is 67 millimeters. This is 58 millimeters. So now all I'm going to do is attach this particular ND filter. And, this works well even in indoors if I need to keep it on. But if I'm going inside and outside, I just attach that ND filter to the front and it works really, really well. And then in terms of capturing audio, I just use this small size shotgun mic. This one's by Rode. These are, I think they're about $120. I'll place links to everything that I'm going over in the description down below. Now, if I'm only using a shotgun mic, then I'm just going to use one audio cable and I'm going to attach the microphone to the mic input on this camera. But I have something a little different in store for you today. I actually use this setup instead. So this is a splitter cable. When you're capturing audio in a camera, you can capture it using 2 channels. There's a left channel and there's a right channel. So think of it as if you're putting headphones on, you have the right channel and the left channel. For you, right, left. And what this does is this can separate audio inputs very easily. So there's the right channel and there's the left channel. So in this case, what I do, I like to capture kind of background noise or whatever's happening in whatever situation I'm in. I want to capture some of that background noise to make it sound more real. And then what I do is I take a small size wireless microphone setup. It doesn't matter which one. This is the microphone. So this would actually go on my client and I just keep it on them for the duration of the shoot. And then what I do is this is a receiver. So this is going to connect my wireless microphone to this receiver. And then I just attach this to the camera. And now, because I'm using this splitter cable, I'm going to capture the audio coming out of the shotgun mic in the left channel. And by the way, when you're editing, you can separate out your left and right channel and you can modify and optimize that audio separately in whatever editing tool you're using. But for today, we're just going to capture everything in the left and right channel for recording purposes. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the right channel and I'm going to plug this into the receiver. And then I want to be sure that I plug this into the camera. So now my camera is capturing 2 audio sources. And just to keep this nice and light, what I typically do with this receiver is if it has a clip-on, I'll just clip this on to the shock mount on the camera. Or in this case, I'm just going to kind of tuck this in. So it's just going to stay in place. Doesn't really impact the shock mount, but it just makes things nice and light. If you have a clip receiver, it does stay a little better. But this is the setup that I use so that I can capture audio wherever I need to on myself or my client. I can capture that background noise. I can adjust the ND so that I still get a blurry background if I want it, if I'm capturing A-roll. And this nice light size setup is fantastic. The downside to this setup is that because it's so light, if you are shooting handheld, it can get pretty wobbly. And this camera is not well known for its image stabilization. So that's where the gimbal comes into play. All right, when we're setting this camera up, on a gimbal, what I do is I have everything already balanced. So if you look at the bottom of this camera, it's already got the mount. I can use this mount for mounting on a tripod, and then I can also use it here on the gimbal. So all I'm going to do is take this mount, and I'm just going to slide the camera right onto the gimbal. And because it's already pre-balanced, I don't have to worry about balancing. If I'm shooting with a client, I do not like to balance my gimbal in front of them. So just a little tip for you, make sure that everything is balanced and ready to go if you are shooting with a client. Now, remember I mentioned open gate earlier in the video. Because I'm shooting an open gate on this camera, and I only have to set the orientation up like this once. I don't have to rotate the camera if I need to get vertical footage or landscape footage. And this is all set and ready to go. And same if I'm using a tripod to capture my video. So this makes this just a one-time setup. If I'm shooting a client, I'm just going to grab this gimbal, and I don't have to worry about leveling the image or image stabilization. I can just place this gimbal wherever I need to. I can walk around. I can set it down on a tabletop and still capture footage. If I'm filming myself, what's really great about this gimbal is it has this widget right here. And this is an AI tracking widget. So once the gimbal is on, what you can do is you can enable this tracking widget. And then if you're moving in front of the camera, the gimbal is actually going to keep you in frame. It's going to move with you so that it keeps you in frame. And if you ever video yourself, you know that sometimes if you move around, you don't have help to reposition your camera. So this particular gimbal has that functionality built in, and I use it all the time when I'm filming myself just to keep myself in frame while I'm capturing A-roll like this, or if I'm moving around and vlogging, it's come in super handy. All right, we're back on the XM5, and I have that AI tracking functionality turned on the gimbal, and you can see as I move around, it's just going to reframe the shot. This is particularly handy for myself if I'm in front of the camera, but also if I'm in back of the camera and I am shooting with a client and we're both doing a run and gun style shoot, like a real estate walkthrough, or if we're walking and talking for any type of a video, that AI tracking is going to help me as the operator behind the camera keep the person in frame. And then that paired with autofocus means that the gimbal is going to help me keep everything in frame while the camera is going to help keep everything in focus. And then I can concentrate on the big picture that is capturing content for a client. So this is my small size content creator setup. Last week, I did do a video about a larger size rig setup that I do for events, bigger, more robust type of a setup for more advanced or expert type users. But if you are somebody who's a beginner looking for a brand new setup, your first camera purchase, and consider this one, I'll put the links to all the items that I went over in today's video down in the description. And then stay tuned because I'm also going to do one more rig build out for those of you who don't want to use a gimbal. It's a little more run and gun style and will also give you a very wide focal range from 28 millimeters all the way out to 600 millimeters in a small size package. So that video is coming soon. If you like this type of content, then I invite you to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thanks as always for tuning in. I'll see you again in the next video.